I'm Alexander Paine. I was the organ scholar at Pilgrim Uniting Church for a few years, up to 2015. I then moved to Basel, Switzerland to continue my organ studies and have since continued in my career as a professional organist in Switzerland in Europe. During my time as organ scholar at Pilgrim, I mostly served with the choir, both as accompanist for rehearsals, singing with the choir, working alongside Chris Bridge and Peter Kelsall as the organists here, playing for Sunday services, doing a lot of improvisation, learning a lot about choir accompanying and repertoire, working a little bit with the chamber organ as well for continuo work, singing a great variety of repertoire, mostly as a bass, though drifting up and down as would be required, even conducting occasionally when Pete and Chris were otherwise engaged. I was born and bred more or less in Adelaide and had most of my formative years working here as an organist and learning in the music scene here. It was actually Chris Bridge who first recommended Basel and the Schola Cantorum, the school for early music in Basel, as being a likely place for me to study and a place which I might benefit from. I first visited in 2013, I believe. Myself, Peter and Chris, along with my teacher at the time, Ashley Tobin, did an extended organ tour across France and the Netherlands and Germany, visiting quite a few really interesting older and much older historic organs, ranging from romantic 19th century French instruments, Cavaille-Colls and such like, to the 17th century organs of northern Germany from builders like Arp Schnittke. And following that, I stayed on in Europe for a bit. I visited several music schools and had lessons with several teachers, but was drawn back time and time again, to my own surprise, to Basel and to the idea of studying there. And a couple of years later, having completed my studies in Adelaide, I auditioned for a place in the Masters of Organ Performance program there, had a little bit of luck and was accepted, and began my studies in Masters there in 2015, specialising in earlier Baroque and earlier repertoire, though I've continued to play more contemporary and 19th century repertoire, both for fun but also as part of my career ever since as well. Working and studying and learning at Pilgrim and in Pilgrim and through the choral music program at Pilgrim was, for me at least, an incredibly rewarding and enjoyable experience. I made some very, very good friends through my time here, met a few of the organists in the South Australian and the Adelaide music scene through Pilgrim and through the connections fostered here. Having the chance to work on a truly massive English-style instrument and work with the various registration and technical possibilities that an instrument like that afforded was always a joy and always exciting, as was working in a church which encouraged and really nurtured a wide range of musical experiences. Concurrent with that was, of course, a chance to meet and even work with a little bit some of the guest organists who were coming to and have continued in the years since come to Pilgrim to play for services and concerts, organists such as Thomas Trotter, Simon Preston, Benjamin Sheen, world-class international organists. I believe my very first time at Pilgrim, before I started the Organ Scholar program, was page-turning for Simon Preston, which in hindsight was an absolute delight and an absolutely incredible experience. But getting to meet figures like that in the organ music world, to see up close how they dealt with an instrument which I was also intimately familiar with, and to talk with them, to learn from them, and in some cases to befriend them, was an incredible experience, and one not easy to find in many churches in the world. Having the chance for me as a younger organist, as a teenager and as a university student, to work within a professional musical environment such as Pilgrim, but also a very engaged and very lively musical environment that Pilgrim provides and has always provided, was for me an extraordinary experience, one which I will always look back very fondly upon, one which has granted me many good friends among my colleagues, who I hope I will continue to be friends with in the future, one which has opened a lot of doors for me, and perhaps most importantly, especially coming from a city which doesn't have an extraordinary amount of opportunities for younger organists, such as Adelaide, a place where I really felt supported at every point of my musical journey as an organist, a place which gave me the support to both learn but also to experiment and to be very bold and to take risks and to learn from those risks, was truly an unparalleled opportunity. I'm incredibly grateful to Pilgrim, to the choir, to the musical team, and to the team at large for granting me this opportunity. And anytime I'm back in Adelaide now to visit friends and to visit family, I always make sure to come by on a Thursday night to muddle my way through a psalm, to improvise on a hymn or two, and to reconnect with some very old and very good friends who have been very formative for me in my musical experience.